You know that ache in your chest when you realize another week has passed without a real conversation? When the only voice you've heard is your own, echoing through empty rooms. Maybe your children are wrapped up in their busy lives, old friends have moved away, or it's just become harder to get out like you used to. That heavy feeling isn't just in your imagination, it's your body sounding an alarm. Here's what doctors aren't telling you. Chronic loneliness after age 75 is more than just sadness. It's a silent health crisis. Studies from Harvard Medical School show that prolonged isolation can increase inflammation in your body by 20%, raise your risk of heart disease by 30%, and even accelerate cognitive decline. It's as if your body starts shutting down when it believes no one needs you anymore. But I'm here today with life-changing news. This is an inevitable part of aging. Whether you're 75 or 95, your brain and body are wired for connection. And the beautiful part? You don't need to become the life of the party or force yourself into uncomfortable situations. Today, I'll share 5 simple, practical ways to weave connection back into your daily life. Methods that work whether you're living independently, in a retirement community, or even if mobility is a challenge. Let's start with 2 foundational strategies that have helped thousands of seniors like you rediscover meaningful connections. 1. The power of becoming a regular. Do you remember the old neighborhood butcher who knew exactly how you liked your roast prepared? Or the diner waitress who'd have your coffee ready before you even sat down? There was comfort in those predictable interactions, and science proves we still need them. Here's how to recreate that in today's world. Step 1. Choose your 3rd place. This isn't your home first place or doctor's office second place, but somewhere neutral where people gather naturally. For my 82-year-old friend Walter, it became the hardware store's Saturday morning tool clinic. I don't even need anything fixed, he admits. But the young guys there treat me like the expert I used to be at the factory. Step 2. Create a ritual. Nancy, 79, visits her local library every Wednesday at 2 p.m. for the newspaper. At first, I just nodded at the other regulars. Now Edith saves me the crossword section, and we work on it together over tea. Step 3. Let them miss you. When you stop coming, people notice. The pharmacy tech might ask, "We haven't seen you. Is everything all right?" That's when you realize you weren't just visiting a place. You became part of its rhythm. 2. The art of microconnections. Some days, a long visit feels overwhelming, but you'd be amazed what 2 minutes of genuine human contact can do for your well-being. The grocery line technique. Instead of staring at your cart, try, "Those peaches look perfect. Are you buying some too?" To the cashier, "You're so fast with that scanner. How long did it take to get that good?" These aren't just polite comments. They're lifelines. Neurologists found that even brief positive social interactions cause your brain to release oxytocin, lowering stress hormones and boosting immunity. The "I saw this and thought of you" call. Next time a commercial for denture adhesive comes on, we've all gotten those. Call an old coworker and say, "Remember how we used to laugh about Mr. Johnson's teeth clicking during meetings?" That 90-second call strengthens social bonds more than scrolling through Facebook for hours. Now, I can hear some of you thinking, "But my town doesn't places like that," or "I'm too shy for small talk." That's exactly why our next strategies will cover how to create meaningful connections without leaving your home. Rekindle old friendships without feeling awkward. Use technology in ways that actually satisfy your need for connection. But before we get there, I want you to try just one small thing this week. Maybe it's sitting on your porch when neighbors walk their dogs instead of watching from a window, asking the mail carrier, "How's your day going?" and really listening to the answer, calling a relative and saying, "I was remembering that time we..." Because here's what I've learned from interviewing hundreds of vibrant seniors. The people around you want to connect just as much as you do. They're just waiting for someone to make the first move. Why not let that someone be you? I'd love to hear in the comments, where could you become a regular this month? Your idea might give another viewer the courage they need. And if this message resonated with you, please hit that like button. It helps spread this lifeline to others who might be struggling in silence. Remember, the cure for loneliness isn't found in waiting for others to reach out. It's in the small, brave choices we make every day to stay part of the world. And you, my friend, still have so much to offer. You know, there's a myth that keeps too many seniors isolated. The idea that if you can't get out like you used to, meaningful connection just isn't possible anymore. Maybe you felt this yourself. Watching the world go by from your window, remembering when your calendar was full, wondering if those days are gone for good. Well, I'm here to tell you something important. Your home isn't a prison. It's a potential hub for connection. And those old friendships you think have faded, they're often just waiting for one spark to reignite. Today, we'll explore how to transform your living space into a place of warmth and interaction, and how to reach back into your past to bring meaningful relationships into your present. 3. Turn your home into a gathering place, even if it's small. When my friend Arthur's arthritis made going out difficult, he did something brilliant. He turned his modest apartment balcony into what he calls his front porch. Every Thursday at 3 p.m., he puts out 2 extra chairs and a sign that says, "Story Swap Hour. Tell me one good thing that happened to you this week." At first, it was just me and the neighbor's cat, he laughs. But now, the young nurse downstairs brings her baby. The widow across the hall shares her famous lemon cookies. And we've even had the building superintendent stop by. Here's how you can create your own version. The Coffee and Memories Morning. Set out a thermos and some store-bought cookies. No need to bake. With a note, help yourself. And if you got a good memory about this neighborhood, I'd love to hear it. You'll be amazed how many people will pause to share. The Skill Swap Board. Post a small bulletin board in your building's lobby or your front window. What can you teach? What would you like to learn? Maybe you offer to help with crossword puzzles in exchange for someone showing you how to use video calling. The "I'll listen" invitation. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can offer is your attention. A simple, "I've got time if you ever want to talk," can open doors to deeper connections than you'd imagine. 4. The lost art of letter writing with a modern twist. Now, let's talk about those old friends you've lost touch with. The ones whose voices you can still hear in your memories but haven't spoken to in years. That silence between you, it's not a wall. It's just a door waiting to be opened. Do you remember when letter? Here's a template that works wonders. Dear name, I was making a specific food today and suddenly remembered that time we shared memory. It made me smile and wonder how you've been all these years. If you'd like to catch up, I'd love to hear what life has brought you, why this works. It's not demanding, you never call. It offers a specific, warm memory. It gives them an easy way to respond. The magic of voice messages. If writing feels hard, try a voice memo. "Hi, Martha, it's me. Just thinking about our old bowling lead today. Remember when..." These feel more personal than texts and less intrusive than unexpected calls. The photo reconnection trick. Text or email an old photo with a message. "Found this today. Look at us." It instantly transports you both back to shared joy. Now, I know some of you are thinking, but what if they don't respond? Here's the truth. Some won't, but many will, often with incredible enthusiasm. And even if only one old friendship rekindles, that's one more person who knows your story, values your history, and reminds you that your life matters. In our final part, we'll tackle the most surprising strategy of all, how helping others can be the ultimate cure for loneliness, plus simple ways to use technology that actually feel good rather than isolating. There's a secret about loneliness that most people don't understand. It isn't cured by simply receiving more attention, but by giving what only you can offer. I've seen it time and again. The moment a senior stops waiting to be included and starts sharing their unique gifts is the moment their world begins to fill with meaningful connections. And for those who think technology is just for young, you're about to discover how it can become your bridge to the world when used with intention. 5. The paradox of helping others. Margaret, 83, told me something that changed how I view loneliness forever. The year I felt most alone was when I kept waiting for someone to rescue me. The year I felt most connected was when I started rescuing others. What did she mean? Let me explain with examples you can try this week. The Wisdom Hotline. Offer to be the person new grandparents can call for advice. Post in a community center. Raise 4 kids, survive tantrums and teen years. Happy to listen if you need an experienced ear. Suddenly, you're not just a senior, you're a valued mentor. The Memory Keeper Project. Record short videos about local history. This is how we celebrated holidays in the 1950s. Share them with schools or historical societies. Your memories become treasures. The I can still do this list. Make a list of skills you have: knitting, repairing clocks, storytelling, small services you can offer, proofreading letters, phone check-ins. Post it at your church or senior center. When you get what others need, you'll never feel useless. 6. Technology that feels human. Now, let's talk about screens, not the isolating kind, but the ones that can actually deepen connections when used right. The Grandma Zoom Cafe. Set up a weekly 30-minute video call with this structure. What made you smile this week? 2 minutes each. Here's one thing I've been thinking about. What should we talk about next time? This works beautifully with family or old friends. It gives everyone something to look forward to. Voice messaging like passing notes. Instead of stressful live calls or impersonal texts, try sending voice messages back and forth throughout the day. It feels like having a conversation without the pressure of being available at the same time. The photo story tradition. Text one old photo per week with a voice note explaining. This was at Lake Tahoe, 1982. Your uncle dropped the picnic basket right in the water. Suddenly, you're not just sharing images. You're passing down family history. Let's pause and look at the full picture we created. 1. Becoming a familiar face in comfortable spaces. 2. Mastering the art of micro-connections. 3. Transforming your home into a place of welcome. 4. Reaching back to bring old friendships forward. 5. Discovering how giving what you need fills your own cup. And 6. Using technology as your connection tool, not your crutch. But here's the most important truth. You are not waiting for connection. You are the source of it. Every time you share a memory, offer your hard-earned wisdom, or simply show up as yourself, you're weaving threads of connection that strengthen not just your life, but everyone you touch. This week, I challenge you to try just one thing. Call that old friend you've been thinking about while watching this. Set out 2 extra chairs and see who joins you. Record one childhood memory to share with your family. And I'd love to hear in the comments which of these strategies resonated most with you. Your story might give someone else the courage they need. If this series has helped you, please hit that like button. It helps these messages reach more wonderful people like you. And consider subscribing. We got many more honest conversations about thriving in our later years coming your way. Remember what the poet Maya Angelou said: people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. Today, choose to make someone, including yourself, feel truly seen, valued, and connected. That's how we don't just add years to life, but life to years.